Hi, good morning, good evening. My name is Fernando Reyes. I'm currently standing here in front of the Superior Court of Santa Clara County Family Justice Center Courthouse. What I'm doing is basically I'm going to publicize my emergency modification for transferring my son to a new school district. My son's gone through lots of turmoils because of the negligence and corruption of family court, because of DFCS, because the local PD at Sunnyvale Police Department as individuals, and my son's school, Sunnyvale School District, here in Sunnyvale, California, one of our neighboring cities. I would like to address this petition as one of my first redresses from going public and publicizing like my efforts to try and protect my child. This was an effort not for custody, not for retaliation, not for legal abuse. Whether it's physical custody or legal custody, that was not this petition. I only petitioned this knowing that the court was not going to grant it, petitioning it, hoping and giving last efforts and exhausting every legal remedy possible before actually filing my federal lawsuit against Santa Clara County itself for the negligence and corruption that has been transpiring in my son's case, and retaliating against me, depriving me of my right from equal access to the laws thereof, and equal access away from retaliation and negligence from these people. So currently we have a new judiciary whose name is Judiciary Lowney, who took over his predecessor, the corrupt Andrea Flint, who was removed by family court. I believe in the efforts that I've taken to file claims against the county of Santa Clara County. I have filed 4 claims against 4 government bodies for the negligence, one being Santa Clara County Family Justice Center Courthouse, one being the Department of Family Children Services under Santa Clara County, one being Sunnyvale Police Department under Sunnyvale, California City, and another being Sunnyvale School District, Vargas Elementary under Sunnyvale School District in Sunnyvale, California. It's kind of hard for me to express myself. This is kind of like the first time I'm going to be addressing this really publicly and trying to do this professionally. I have done everything physically possible to reaching out to all these officials, to reaching out to our Attorney General, to reaching out to Gavin Newsom, reaching out to the Judicial Commission Board who investigated Andrea Flint, who was later removed from family court because of this case. Again, I do believe because of this case, because of how much complaint I've actually officially administered towards basically pushing back against this injustice, against the justice system. And part of the reason why I'm going public about this is we have these rights, we have these moral and civil duties and responsibilities as parents, as people, to redress our government for grievances, to protect our children, to protect ourselves, and to protect our society and community from further being jeopardized by these injustices. If I could just kind of throw this into the pot here that we're kind of stirring and going public about. Recently, in the past 3 months, our Santa Clara County Family Justice Center Courthouse had deprived rights to Ellie Lorenzo's mother, basically trying to get full custody and protection orders implemented against Ellie Lorenzo's father, who ended up murdering Ellie Lorenzo here in Santa Clara County. I believe it was in Fremont, California. Her mother tried her hardest and damnedest to get these protection orders, but Family Justice Center Courthouse did not listen. Nobody listened to her pleas, her desperate pleas for help, which are similar to the desperate pleas for help that I'm giving and administering. I am trying to prevent my child from becoming the next Gabriel Fernandez, the next Ali Lorenzo, the next Noah Quattro, etc. Santa Clara County and Family Justice Center Courthouse has failed people like you and failed people like me countless times with no consideration and no respect or sympathy to due process, no respect to our children. And it's a damn sham, and it's a shame that nobody has stepped up enough to combat this. And I'm standing here before Santa Clara County, without fear of oppression, without fear of any, opposition. I'm willing to put my neck on the line and put my name on the line for the protection of all of these children. Ellie Lorenzo, my son's sibling, my son himself. And I try to keep it professional to get justice, because I will be administering this outright as an outcry to our civil, to our Santa Clara County Council, our San Jose City Council, as I've addressed in videos in the past as well. You know, there's ample efforts that we could take and do, and you know, there's things that we could freaking do to prevent children from getting harmed, and the people in power, like the people in power at this courthouse, are not doing it. They're not doing a damn thing, and because of that, they're responsible for these deaths, for these negligent actions, for these damaged bodily integrity to our children, like Ellie Lorenzo. It is their responsibility and duty to protect our children, even if that means protecting them from ourselves. With that being said, as I said, I wanted to make this petition as my last final begging plea to the Family Justice Center Courthouse to also not only protect my child, but to show how negligent the Family Justice Center Courthouse is. My name has been going around in a lot of backdoor talks because of how many people I'm addressing and redressing about this grievance, about this negligence. I have sent out emails, I have sent out letters, I have dropped off my petitions to show as like basically notice. I have basically given final notices to the court before filing my writ of mandamus, my possible quo warranto, which is a challenge jurisdiction of Santa Clara County itself for their neglect to prevent, etc., for not abiding by the law and federal policies and federal laws, etc. So my name is kind of going around because of the controversy of my case. I want to show I didn't come here with legal abuse. I came here with merit and not for custody, of legal custody or physical custody. I came to show cause that this has been happening time and time again, and Santa Clara County has only been failing my child. Santa Clara County has been negligent and failing my child just as much as this neon sign is going out with all the ample money that they have and all of the resources they have. They have the audacity to basically act like they're shining a light on us as a community, but really it's just a facade. I would like to publicize my petition to kind of show cause that I've tried effortlessly, I've tried putting effort time and time again and taking action time and time again to protect my child and trying every possible means necessary to get this done, to get protection, whether it was by a restraining order, which was denied by the against this abuser, whether it was a restraining order in family court, which was denied, which my contempt motion, which was denied, time and time again, showing outright causes of inherent harm, and I've been discriminated against and basically pushed out and deprived of my right to equal access. So again, this petition clearly states that something happened to my child, and instead of removing my child from the area that he's been damaged or away from the people that he's been damaged from, they would rather keep my child in that place to not admit criminal negligence or guilt of some type of wrongdoing. That's not my effort here. I am solely trying to protect my child, and everyone continues to fail him. So let me go ahead and show you. This is my temporary emergency request for modification, which was denied by Judiciary Lowney. I do believe that Lowney is taking instructions and orders from a superior judiciary not to allow him to admit this guilt. So I'm going to go ahead and state my petition. I'm just going to kind of read it out the best that I can to the best of my ability. So this is my petition to Family Court for emergency modification to transfer school districts. This is my attachment 10, facts to support form FL 300 request for order. It states that I, Fernando Reyes, the undersigned, being duly sworn, declare and state that I am the legal age and fully competent and have the first-hand knowledge of the facts stated herein and believe these facts to be true and correct to the best of my knowledge. I currently reside at Mountain View, California. I, Fernando Reyes, I'm the biological father to the offspring Reyes, born in the city of San Jose, Santa Clara County, exhibits paternity test That's basically an exhibit showing my paternity test to say I'm the biological father, and I state that for the record so they know if they take my child, they're basically depriving me of my bloodline, and they are attacking and retaliating my bloodline, and basically that I have the autonomy to my child, and if they take that autonomy, it's a deprivation of rights. That's kind of why I placed that in there. So if there's parents that are concerned about losing their child custody rights, as long as you are not committing domestic violence on that child or perpetrating serious acts of criminal harm and criminal damages, you have the right to the autonomy to your children regardless of what they say. You have a right to appeal that even if they decide otherwise. So say for instance me fighting for justice for my child and people are constantly threatening to take my child away, or the mom's constantly threatening to take my child away. Even if they granted her custody, eventually it's going to get removed, and whoever is in charge, whichever judiciary, they will be basically overturned in that order, because I do have the right to autonomy to my child and the right to protect my child under the 14th Amendment of safety and security and education to my child. Contact a lawyer before you take my words of advice, but again, I tell you right here firm, you have the 14th Amendment to the safety, security, and education to your child, and you have the right to the autonomy to your children. So as I proceed, I am making this petition for modification for the safety of minor child, requesting the transferring of school districts from Vargas Elementary, Sunnyvale School District in Sunnyvale, California to Amy and my Mountain View Wisherman School District in Mountain View, California. On March 17, 2023, I informed Principal Katherine Armstrong of ongoing sexual abuse investigation on AR sibling, unknown, which I will leave the child unnamed. I informed Principal of my concerns of being a possible victim of sexual abuse because of all of his abnormal behaviors, such as soiling himself, pain on his anus, fondling of his genitals, trying to touch other people. I informed Armstrong that I had addressed his sexual behavior to the mother back in 2020, and that we later asked him over the phone if anyone had been touching him, and that we both coached him on his behaviors. I told her to keep an eye on him to prevent further harm to himself or others, and to correct it if necessary, and to inform the teacher, Mr. Vaughn. She agreed to keep an eye on the child and to monitor him. The principal made a copy of my petition. She did not file a report as a mandated reporter. The following week, I reiterated my concerns through email and sent her a copy of the denial of my petition and text messages of the mother and I acknowledging his behaviors. She did not file a report. On April 24th, 2023, Vargas Elementary investigated the incident where my child was being molested by a peer inside the classroom, and it turned out to be for over a month span and prior, as the children were saying that my child has been acting out sexually like this since the first grade, which was a year prior. The school waited a whole day before telling us on the following day of the incident, and then scheduled a sit down on April 26th, 2023. I made all present there aware of my concerns of sexual abuse by the child's abnormal behaviors, including of me previously asking him about anyone touching him in January of 2023 when I had found pimple pus dots on his buttocks. And I basically stated of him replying, "Will they get in trouble?" is how far I had gotten when I addressed it to them. I said, you know, I tried to ask my child about what was going on, and I asked him, you know, if anybody was doing so, and he said, will they get in trouble? And I addressed this to them, saying that's how far I've gotten. The respondent, child's mother, stated that I have been stating these accusations with no basis and have not brought it up to her attention, and that the only thing that has came up is her bringing up going to the doctor for touching himself. I then told her the principal had text messages of when we first acknowledged him touching other people and himself. So she was oblivious to lying about it. She said, where's the proof, and what does it matter who told who first? I said, it don't matter who told, it doesn't matter who told who first. What matters is they keep lying about it. The school did not care about these facts and only cared about proceeding forward without acknowledging the real problem of inherent harm that was obviously avoidable to its extreme volume and should have been directed as an emergency as it was that is prescribed and trained by law. The school personnel, Paul Slayton, Director of Student Services, Vivian Matsuyama, Assistant Principal, Katherine Armstrong, Principal, and even the child's mother, respondent, all as mandated reporters, did not file a report. Paul Slayton even suppressed my First Amendment right to audio record the meeting for transcript of the mother's deceit, which had even led to that very meeting and through the entirety of it. Following after the incident, the school assigned a school counselor named Rachel Boone. I told Ms. Boone about all of my concerns, and even that when I spoke to her, that he stated that more than one person was touching him, and that he had told the school. I even shared her video with Miss Boone about the child disclosing some of the domestic violence that was going on inside the respondent's home. Rachel Boone, that we had seen the abuser Anthony Shelton's mom driving by the school during pickup, and then later that day seen Anthony Shelton himself coming from the mother's home on 5/31/2023. He was scared and shaken that I had to comfort him for over 2 hours off and on as he was going through frequent outbursts of emotions. Rachel Boone disregarded his safety and did not at all file a report on the matter or further correspond for his safety. In the incident report from 4/26/2023, it clearly states the school will ensure parallel communication to both parents. Yet all of these members of the school district, besides Ms. Matsuyama, retaliated and started conspiring with the respondent to elude responsibility of their wrongdoing. All I tried to do was protect my child and ensure the safety of him and all other children. CPS reports of sexual assault on the teenage daughter in front of their minor 4-year-old daughter in father's care. CPS report exhibits Vargas Elementary sexual incident and 4/26/2023 exhibits informing DFCS caseworker, school counselor, and school principal of sexual behaviors. All these people were forewarned, and I showed the courts that I had proof, that I forewarned them as mandated reporters to prevent harm to my child, which still ended up happening. I tried to make a report on the respondent's child endangerment and incident, but the resource officer for the school appeared as if he was taking a report, but did not file the report as a mandated reporter. This officer even mocked me and insulted me through the whole ordeal, even intimidating me, stated that I cannot have public record aggressively. This officer named Officer Mello at Sunnyvale Police Department, he basically denied me public record of the conversation between him and the principal, of when it had happened and when it had transpired. He didn't even file a report. Internal Affairs actually had to make him file a report, and it even states in his report that he didn't file a report. And what else happened? Oh, he tried to have me arrested. He tried to solicit a trespass later on at a school board meeting. And he basically told Paul Slayton, would you like to have him removed? And Paul Slayton agreed, and basically to solicit a trespass. And I was like, you cannot remove me from this public event because I'm asking a educational question at a public educational forum. So it doesn't make any sense for you to basically try and y'all get the picture. In May 2023, CPS investigation for signs of sexual abuse and sexual assault after the in-school sexual molestation. Soon after, the school directed contact with me only directly through the new assistant principal, Mr. Gomez. We spoke several times, having frequent contact about matters pertaining to Aurelius and his schooling, coordinating a sit-down for the school and I made it clear I would not sit down with Paul Slayton again to embarrass me or insult me, to insult me or the safety of my son, as he's done so in the past. Because I did inform the assistant principal that Mr. Paul Slayton basically did not file a report, and that he did try to have me arrested, and that I recorded it. So Mr. Gomez was well aware of what was going on in all of my actions, because I was recording the conversations between me and Mr. Gomez himself. And so we were keeping up quite frequently. So it was really weird that it transpired in the end, like all these events. But either way, I made it clear I would not sit down with Paul Slayton again to embarrass me or insult the safety of my son as he's done in the past. I also request per our child's request to continue counseling for our child if they can accommodate it Mr. Gomez did in fact reach out to a third party for counseling, who that third party was a counselor for Mountain View, California and Sunnyvale, California school districts, and her name is Agnes Tang. After telling his new therapist, Miss Agnes Tang, his whole story and background along with my concerns and his mother's actions, on February 14, 2024, mandated reporter Agnes Tang made a CPS referral investigating a CPS referral investigation after new incident of my child acting out inappropriately and of the previous abnormal behaviors of the sexuality and body abnormalities, along with the concerns for the mother lying about child sexual history leading to the child endangerment inside Vargas Elementary, and the respondent intimidating the child as a witness. Even Agnes Tang stated she does not understand why these were underreported, but these are all strong signs of sexual abuse and sexual assault. This was on February 14th of 2024. DFCS disregarded the case as a duplicate, but I have recordings of the investigation topic open to end where the report is a blatant contradiction, as it was originally open for a full investigation to where it was automatically closed. So I was documenting my conversation with CPS, recording them, and they were basically saying it's a full investigation based off of past histories and concerns, especially that it's a mandated reporter who's strongly saying these are strong signs of sexual abuse. And then it got backlogged, and they said that they denied it right away, but I got video evidence stating where it was a full-blown investigation like 2 weeks into the event. And then another couple days later, when I informed them about all of this, they said no, it was closed right away the first day. So it was contradicting themselves. So someone actually, and this was after I talked to the DA in Sonoma County and told him about this information, and he was very quite concerned to who was heeding the investigation of sexual abuse. So it's very well possible that this man may have reached out to CPS referral themselves to ask him about the information, etc. I really don't know, but that's just kind of how it transpired. But I've been recording all this information. So to continue back to my story, on February 28th, I spoke to Mr. Gomez about all of the new information of the mandated report and of our child's past behavior, telling him directly I did not want my son talking to DFCS any further because of this decision that they made. Mr. Gomez was not informed of any of the information I had just disclosed to him about the turmoils our child had undergone, and stated he would have to further ask the principal about all of these statements I made of sexual abuse and of sexual incident inside the school. At this phone call, we scheduled a sit-down meeting where we were originally supposed to schedule for March 8th at 3 p.m. involving my child's behaviors, an academic report with Principal Miss Armstrong, Mr. Gomez, and Miss Petrol. I showed up to the school on March 8th to meet Mr. Gomez in the front for our sit-down, and he stated that there must be a misunderstanding, that he did not schedule any meeting with me, and that he would email when they were ready for a sit-down. At this moment, the school retaliated, conspiring with the respondent, only contacting her about marks on our child's wrist, and filed a report of abuse by cigarette burns. Instead of either party contacting me on the matter, or even the mother clarifying that to her obvious knowledge that the child had been picking at his own body, this was the same exact reason we were all supposed to show up to this meeting and have a sit down. The school retaliated a CPS investigation of abuse on minor child by father for spots on wrist referred by Vargas Elementary directly after finding out about the mandated sexual abuse report on May 3rd, 2024. Vargas Elementary locks my child inside classroom to make the child feel safe after the child has a nervous breakdown after telling the teacher, Miss Petrol, he had seen Anthony Shelton, the abuser, at the school assembly taking pictures of him. The teacher, Miss Petrol, tells the child that she will lock the doors to make the child feel safe and that she will contact the principal. The school contacted only the mother in this moment to correspond with her without my knowledge or awareness. I had to find out from my son, panicked and afraid because the school lacked the integrity. of concern for the safety of the child as they'd done before on May 3rd, 2024 exhibits of the CPS reports. I did not respond right away, but sent a final email to the school and made it clear for them to cease and desist and called them out for their wrongdoing. An attack on me is an attack on my child, and I am done through people harming my child. I have been informing the respondent several times I don't want my child to be in the school longer than needed for education, and that I want to change the schools for our child. She has continuously ignored me on the matter, only stating that we can go to mediation. There is no mediating this matter or compromising. What kind of parent would I be to allow my child to continue to go through such turmoils, or allow the parent of my child to be subjected to such bias and conspiring? In the respondent's recent petition for legal custody was a clear and concise proof that her and the director, Paul Slayton, have been communicating frequently against me as a parent, stating that Mr. Gomez canceled for me being confrontational, for merely stating facts, and for preserving the welfare of my child. We are all adults with obligated duties to uphold to these children, and neither party is upholding them. Yet the respondent keeps saying that I was the one not cooperating with the school the entire time, when I have been the one communicating thoroughly without holding any information or concerns back. I have followed by the letter of the law and even gone out of my way to educate others on the law and their civil duties, so to duly inform everyone on matters to prevent further harm that has already been done. I have literally been adamant about recording all of my conversations with police, DFCS agents, the school personnel, and screenshotting all of my conversations to further protect my child and myself as proof. The school has not been in the best interest of our child or as his parents equally. I would like to ask the courts to transfer schools so the child may have a fresh start at a fair, equal, honest, and free education from harm, turmoils, or inherent harm. The Mountain View Wishman School District has been informed of the harm that has been caused, and they will keep an eye on the child with ample attention to the child. The school district has more resources and better opportunities to grow. The school is a gated community, a gated school with security cameras at every angle to monitor threats and keep an eye on the children. I have informed the respondent that I would be transferring the child to the new school district because of said negligence and harm to the child that has occurred. The respondent was okay with placing our child in all of the domestic violence that transpired in her home, resulting in severe trauma after continuously placing these children back in danger. The respondent is also okay with the neglect and treatment from the school and states that I'm the one in the wrong. Well, if I'm wrong for taking an intolerable stand against this and trying to protect my child, then I don't want to be right, because these children are supposed to always be put first, and this was never supposed to happen. This child is afraid to have an honest conversation with the respondent because the respondent would never hear the child outright. She has always disregarded his feelings and thoughts. She has taken his wallet, my business card from him. She has taken away his phone to sever communication. She has forbid him to bring the AirTag that he bought with his money to their house for their dog. He was afraid to tell his mom when he was scared because of the abuser, Anthony, or Anthony's mom stalking him on social media pages, because he knew she would ultimately tell him to be quiet. And he is afraid to tell his mom that he wants to go to a new school. I have personally shown the child the school that he would attend, and he is excited for a new start. The first day of school is on August 12th, 2024. The respondent has claimed that she will not be allowing the child to participate and will be preventing or removing him from attending the school. It is not fair to continue or place our child through the same revolving door of danger. I ask the courts to allow a stay of this order so this matter may be heard for the protection of the child, not be placed in the same danger as before. And so the same abuser who was once stalking him may not know where his school is. All right, so it's kind of hard to express this. I've already lost some of my voice. And I apologize if some of it was kind of like a little bit back and forth. I'm only looking out for the best interest of my child and protection. I'll basically finish telling the backstory that's connected to this later on. I gotta leave and go get something to eat. It's very hard to go through this and tell this story. Like, so if you hear me speaking and reading, you know, incompetently or not well, I apologize. I'm just trying to get my story out to protect my child and to protect me and my child as a unit. As I said, I've been threatened to have my child removed. My child has undergone all these severe turmoils. Nobody wants to do anything about it. And if I'm true about what is going on inside this packet, you know, which obviously it is because it has exhibits after exhibit after exhibit, from sexual incident to sexual incident to sexual incident, or, you know, etc. Damage to his bodily integrity, the damage to his bodily integrity. Like, imagine if it was your child being locked in a classroom or kicked in a classroom, or basically he was being bullied and they don't want to do nothing about it, because if they do anything about it, it's kind of like almost admitting guilt, you know. And so all I've asked is for protection of my child, and all this county has done is just ignored me and ignored the child. So it's really quite crazy. And I don't know what avenues and you know, I don't know what steps to take next basically. Like, I've done everything in my power to protect my child, and now that all I could do is go public and really tell my story for someone else, you know, hoping that it could help them and help protect us, you know, further by this future negligence. Because understand, I'm only asking for transparency and basically protection by allowing him a fresh start, a free education, you know, free of retaliation and negligence. How much am I, like, what am I doing wrong? So the mom's asking for physical and legal custody because I keep on reiterating the same story that everybody keeps on ignoring, that basically keeps going back around as a revolving door. So again, if this is a dull conversation, I apologize, but it's a serious story that needs to be heard. It's a serious matter that needs to be heard, and maybe I need to say it in another segment where I retell the story and basically show the exhibits in the background. But yeah, that's kind of my story. I'm probably going to make a GoFundMe pretty soon, and hopefully reach out to my community, start protests, start trying to work with my community council of Santa Clara County and the city of San Jose, possibly Sunnyvale. You know, I'm not trying to make enemies with people, but I'm definitely not going to take or tolerate people's negligence anymore. You know, just today, I sent this document out to the Santa Clara County School Board Education, all of the personnel of our district, the Sunnyvale School Board personnel, all of their emails. I sent it out. I sent it out to the county and state complaint board, the state education board, basically their complaint email. I sent that out. I'm going to be sending it out to news agencies as well, because this is a serious story where it's like, how do you guys allow like not one case of negligence? You have several cases, you know, of negligence, and where you're just basically ignoring the one father who's like trying to protect the child. And it's like, my story is the only story that makes any sense. You know, just because you try and construe something and it sounds good doesn't always, you know, mean it's going to turn out right for you, because it hasn't thus far. Like, it's not worked out. Like, how's it worked out for all of you guys? I mean, I still got custody. I still got, you know, my child with me, and it may change very well by retaliation and corruption. It very well may change, but as of right now, I've done everything in my power to protect my child, and I'm gonna keep fighting for him. You know, my child has a voice, and as his parent, we're supposed to be his voices. But how do I get my child the help when the government body who is supposed to protect him and protect us is not allowing his voice to be heard, or allowing my voice to be heard? And we're not talking about things that may happen. We're talking about things that have already happened to this child, and because you guys wouldn't do anything, it keeps happening. So anyways, I hope I've reached, you know, whoever wants to hear this, and I hope it reached you guys well, and I apologize if I didn't articulate it very well. You know, this is my child, this is my redress, and you know, if you have any comments, questions, or concerns, feel free to reach out to me. Thank you.